Well, here's the deal. We know that about well over 100 years ago, a guy by the name of Charles Darwin popped up on the scene. And what he promulgated was a theory, underline that, put it in bold, a theory, which, by the way, has never been proven, a theory of evolution, basically stating that all life slowly evolved over billions and billions of years, and including mankind and everything else. There is no God. There is no right or wrong. There is no up or down, good or evil. Nothing. It's just, here we are. Primordial slime, our basic purpose is to reproduce. There are no absolutes. There are no absolute truths. And, of course, Hitler loved this, so did Stalin, and everyone else who embraces Darwinism. It becomes, well, if there is no God or no higher authority, moral authority to turn to, then the state will decide who lives and who dies. Thus, we get 60 million people perishing in the gulags, not only in the former Soviet Union, but 70 million in the gulags of China, 12 million from the Nazis, 3 million from Pol Pot, and on it goes. The killing fields, 20 million systematically starved by Stalin, and right after World War I, the Ukraines I'm talking about, which is just unheard of. And of course we get little sidebars like the 1.2 million Armenians marched to death by the Turks. Because if there is no God, if there's no good or evil, and Darwin is right, then who cares? What this has done, the real pernicious part of Darwin's theory, is that it's undermined Christianity. It's usurped the place of the God of the Bible in Western thought and created sort of a vacuum. Well, if there is no God, then where did life come from? And no one knows that. You see, so there's a vacuum, which is why in the Ben Stein's movie Expelled, when Stein sits down with Richard Dawkins, one of the world's greatest premier evolutionists on the planet, and just poses the simple question, okay, Dawkins, babe, where did the simple cell come from? Where did life originate? Dawkins has no answer. He has no answer. He says, well, maybe millions of years ago in another galaxy, a group of aliens formed. What? You see, he doesn't know, but it's intellectual fascism on his part because he won't allow anyone else to think anything else different except what he wants us to think, which is that life just evolved, i.e. Darwinism. All that to say this, Darwinism has created an intellectual vacuum, not only intellectual, but a deep spiritual vacuum in many people who have embraced this bogus theory. And what's pernicious about it is it's a setup, in my opinion. So when the coming great deception pops, people will embrace the lie. Prophecy in the Bible tells us specifically that people will believe the strong delusion, the lie, because they did not believe the truth. What is the truth? That God created the universe. He breathed it. He set everything in motion. It says in the Word that Jesus said all things were made by Him, and without Him nothing that was made. Period. Everything. He is the creator. He created everything. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. That whole thing, that's what we lean on. That's the mystical nature, and I don't use that word in an occult New Age sense, but that's the mysticism of we'll never understand it, at least not on this side. But all that to say this, that we're being set up for the missing link, and that missing link will be the alien gospel, my term, which is this, that E.T. created all life on this planet, that they genetically manipulated early man, that they started the world's civilizations, created the world's religions. Our ancestors worshiped them as gods, and now it's a critical juncture in human history. They are back to usher us into a time of peace, prosperity, and knowledge. Many people will fall for the lie. What does it say? Even the elect would be deceived if that were possible. Men fainting from fear from what is coming on the earth. Unless those days were shortened, no flesh would survive. Satan comes with all signs and lying wonders. Connect the dots. What event are we looking at? What event fulfills all that criteria? E.T. coming, and that's where it's all headed. I look at all this stuff through the UFO paradigm. J.R. Church is looking at it through not so much the UFOs, but looking at it through the bloodlines, ancient bloodlines being handed down, passed down, and the Antichrist. And, of course, Russ Dizdar looking at it through satanic ritual abuse, and yet it all intersects back to the same place. Stan Dale is another person, or Richard Grunge and Williamson. There's just, probably about 20 to 30 people who have really plowed into this field. It all leads to the same aisle. Where the Antichrist is parked, but it's coming, and many people. Tom Horn certainly believes in the transhumanism, the chimeras that are being created, where the Antichrist figure will boast some sort of a Nephilim, a so-called alien extraterrestrial connection. Chuck Missler believes that. I mean, there's a whole myriad of us that are looking at the what's going on and saying, folks, this is it. It's coming down. People need to wake up and understand that what's manifesting is incredibly nefarious. It's luciferic. It's interdimensional. It's satanic. They are back, and they're doing the same nonsense that they did way back in Genesis 6. And if you don't want to believe that, that's fine. Hold your own view. I'm not twisting your arm. But let's not be intellectual fascists and say that you can't believe what you believe. Let's at least open the dialogue and discuss it.